Okay, hello. I am back. And I think that this time it is successfully working. Thank you so much to everybody who was there on YouTube for my first attempt. Um, it's working. Hooray. Okay. Hi, I'm Lisa DeCiro. Thank you for joining me to celebrate the publication of my second book, Simple as a Sonnet. I am streaming live from Cambridge, Massachusetts in my home. It's my first time doing this, and I can see that I've got some friends here in the live chat telling me that it's now they can see me and hear me. My first attempt, that was not the case. So I hope that some of those folks who were there will come back, or that they're here now. This is how it goes. We're adjusting in this pandemic situation. Normally, I would be having a reading in person, maybe even doing a book tour. But so I am going out of my comfort zone, and I have to, before I even proceed, I have to give a big shout out of thanks to one of my dear friends, Kay Patterson, who helped me through FaceTime just now in the past hour. uh, and who also was the one who told me about Ecamm Live, which is the software I'm using for the first time to do this. So thank you so much to Kay. She saved me and helped me figure this out so I could proceed and share this all with you and actually do this live reading. So I'm going to just, I think, go full screen so that I think if I keep my chat window open, I'm going to be distracted. I can see that people are still there, and that really means a lot to me. But I think I'm going to just sort of put that to the side so that I'm not getting too distracted. Oh, good. And I can still see the chats here. So if there's an issue, I will know. But hopefully there will not be any more issues. So again, welcome to my book launch and reading. I'm taking a little different approach with this, well, obviously, because I'm here in my home and I'm coming to you through the screen. But also, I find that it can be sometimes a little difficult to just listen to one person reading poetry. So in some of the events I've done in the past, I like to bring in other elements, whether it be musicians or other artists. Or in this case, I got the idea that I would ask a few friends if they would record videos of themselves reading poems from the book. And I asked 7 of my singer friends with whom I've performed in the past. I knew that they would all be comfortable performing, and they're all people who appreciate poetry and have known me for years. And they all graciously said yes, and it was such a thrill to see their videos as they came in. So I'm going to share those with you, and I'm going to also read some poems myself. The book, Simple as a Sonnet, which just came out this month from Kelsey Books. I wrote these poems over the course of several years, and they have a theme, and that's why I put them together in one book. These are all poems having to do with modern love, romance, dating, relationships, hooking up, breaking up, heartbreak, and joy of being in love. So that's the theme that kind of ties it all together. And there are 13 sonnets in the book, and I decided that those are the poems I'd share in this event today. If you would like to get a copy of the book, there are links to that, or there will be, because I had to redo the YouTube event. That information may not be there right at this moment, but I will add it, so there will be links. You can purchase a copy of the book direct from the publisher, Kelsey Books, or through Bookshop. Bookshop is a website where if you purchase books, it helps some of the proceeds help local bookstores, so that's another good option. Or you can contact me and I'll arrange to get you a copy of the book. My author copies arrived appropriately enough on Valentine's Day, which I thought was just just great and really special. So what else am I going to say? I think that's all you need to know before we get started. And I'll go ahead and read a few of these first sonnets. And as far as I can tell from the comments, it looks like it is working. Hooray! Coupled. When we finally slept together, we heard weird noises during and afterward. Yodeling, yowling cats right outside the window. Is it a fight? I asked. Mating, he said with a grin. Like us, except we're committing a sin. Our laughter filled the chilly, hollow room. Abrupt silence followed. Against my cheek, I felt his heart ticking like a clock. He started twitching in his sleep, the way an animal does when it dreams. I lay still, clutching him, wide awake. Had we made love or made a mistake? Oh, great, and I have another comment telling me that the live is perfect. Awesome. Passenger and driver. Because I want this man to be holding my hand rather than the gear shift, I reach out, thread my fingers through his hair. When he shakes his head, dog-like, and frowns, quick, I withdraw. Flicks of rain begin. I watch the windshield wipers sweep, swallow words. He keeps his eyes on the road. Several more miles to go. Hindsight. Looking back does no good for me to ask, how could you not see? The irony, his name was Tom. He was a starving artist drummer who talked dirty and confessed his daily struggle with depression, then revealed another foible, late night looking into people's windows. Which was worse, his crime of peeping or to sleep with him? Eyes closed, I stroked his bumpy, frail spine like I was reading Braille. We both were blind and guilty of wanting love. Okay, and so now I'm going to share, if all goes smoothly, the first video from a special guest friend. This poem is going to be read by Kay Patterson, who, like I said before, was my savior for this technical issue and got me back on track. So here it is.
Forbidden fruit. I held the hem of my skirt above my knees, exposing my bare legs to the breeze, and sidelong looks of the man with whom I strolled among exotic blooms. He admired their fragrances, their lush colors, though he was suffering, flushed and sweaty, under the sun's blaze because he wore all black. His gaze met mine, lingered. I gave, unasked, the only thing I could, a flask of water. He took it, trembling, and drank. And when he offered me his thanks, I thought of that poem in French, comparing the love-struck heart to a strawberry.
Thank you to Kay for reading that poem. I hope the sound is okay. I know some of the videos, maybe the sound might fluctuate, so if you can't hear it, turn your volume up. I've got mine all up here. I think the input, output, everything is up. So that's the most I can do, and I hope people will be able to hear it. Okay, my next special guest reading a poem is Anne Moss. Oh, and I wanted to say where everybody's sort of joining in from. So Kay is local here in Massachusetts, soon to be moving, I think, back to Somerville. And Anne is joining in from California. And here she is.
Alter ego. She only drinks drinks whose names end in vowels. Margarita, mojito, martini. She has perfect vision, eyes wise as an owl's. She looks fabulous in a bikini. She dresses in dresses whose fit always flatters her figure. Elegant, hip. She knows it's today, not tomorrow, that matters. She always leaves a big tip. She's the girl who remains on Saturday nights when last call is announced at a bar. Her gentleman minions get into fights over who takes her home in whose car. Let them fuss and fume and try to decide, she thinks. I'm taking them all for a ride.
Thank you to Anne for sharing that poem. It was so much fun to hear people's interpretations and the different styles of reading. I feel like I'm going to do this every time now that I have a poetry reading. If I can get friends to come in and read my poems. It kind of reminds me of what my composer friends might feel like when they write a piece of music and then someone else performs it. Next, we have Lorna Jane Norris, who is reading a poem, and Lorna Jane is also local to the Boston area. And here she is.
Imagined advice from Edna St. Vincent Millay. Staying friends with lovers can be done. All you need is patience and finesse. Say you've got yourself in a bit of a mess with two gentlemen admirers, one who isn't really single and one who decides that he, well, more or less, would prefer remaining single. A stress-provoking situation, although fun might be had. But if things have gone far enough with both men, the key to successfully being platonic, which might depress the most resilient heart when left alone, is this: write until you stop dwelling on it. You see? Simple. Simple as a sonnet.
Thank you, Lorna. And as you might have heard, that's where I got the title for the book, was from the end of that poem. And let's see, where are we now? Okay, the next video is a little extra special because it has two guests. One was a kind of surprise guest. So this is going to be read by a partner group, Anastasia Nikolov and Jemai Innes, who are in Berlin and actually are currently on their way to Hamburg, but they made this video from their home in Berlin, and I'm delighted that they could participate. And here they are reading a poem.
Be my valentine. We take a Sunday stroll. It's almost dusk. Clouds clumsily obscure the rising half-moon. Ice crystals fill the air like dust. Gusts of wind follow us along the path.
Other walkers nod and smile, say hello. Dogs with wagging tails sniff our hands. But the children riding sleds down the snow-covered hill, freed from weekday demands, don't notice us. Focused on their fun, They seem blissfully oblivious of time.
Undisturbed by the soon setting sun, they slide to the bottom and they climb up again, then make the same trip all over. So does the sun and the moon, so do lovers.
And a big thank you to Anastasia and Jamai for reading that poem together. And that's the Valentine's Day poem apropos for this month of February, where there is snow outside, at least outside of my window. And next we have, let's see, I'm getting some texts and chats from people. I'm feeling the love. This is great. It's very exciting. Okay, next, sharing a poem, again from locally, my neighbor and friend here in Cambridge, Sarah Belansky.
Metamorphosis, a poem by Lisa DeCiro. It's Kafkaesque, this awful sense of dread as I brush and floss and wash. Hard to say which role you'll pick tonight for me to play before I get undressed and get in bed. The cruel, tormented lover? Tender groom? When at last you let me fall asleep, I dream I'm babysitting children. One, a boy, is crawling unattended. Look out, I cry, afraid he'll harm himself. But then a little girl tackles him gently with a hug onto the wide plush oriental rug. He lies there on his back like a beetle, flailing arms and legs. Not hard to see which one symbolizes you, which me.
Thank you, Sarah, for reading that poem. That's a little bit one of the darker ones. So yeah, the poems in this book, I mean, they are from, I just wanted to say this too, I was thinking about it earlier today. Obviously I wrote them as a straight cis woman, but I think that anybody who has been in love or in lust or had a crush or heartbreak can relate to some of these experiences. At least I hope they can, where you really can run the gamut from elation to from very light things to very dark things. And now we have another slightly dark poem that will be read by Brenna Wells, who's joining us from the West Coast in the Seattle area. And here is Brenna.
The survivor exercises an evil spirit. Although he and I were through, there was no mistaking who the hulking creature represented in my nightmare. First, it bent over me, monstrous, awful. Then it shrank, became a skull. So I shoved it to the floor and I chased it through the bedroom door, screaming, "Go away, get out!" And brandishing a baseball bat, I bashed and bashed and bashed that head until the ugly thing was dead. I woke up scared, but not in pain. I never dreamt of him again.
Thank you, Brenna, so much. And I think I just saw a comment that one of Brenna's sons, Rowan, is watching. So awesome. Thanks, Rowan, for watching. Expose the kids to poetry. That's so wonderful. And the last of my guest videos for today is from a dear friend, Robin Ginenthal, who is also in the greater Boston area. And she'll be reading us another sonnet. And here is Robin. Oh, and I just wanted to say that I picked this one for Robin because she and I are both Tauruses.
The middle-aged Taurus laments. Hey baby, what's your sign? Used to be the pickup line. Things were easier back then. You could ask potential men their date of birth, then try them out. I tried a Capricorn, lusty goat, a water-bearer Aquarius, slippery fish, a Sagittarius, restless archer, even once a Leo, sweetly roaring dunce, and more, all incompatible. And now who'd want to pet the bull I've become? Screw the stars, my planet's Venus, men are from Mars.
Thank you, Robin. And yeah, that last poem, in case you didn't catch it, makes a reference to that book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. So, okay, this has just been a delight, and I hope I'm not going too fast. I hope that people can take some time to take in the poem. Sometimes it takes a second reading. You can catch different things, but I hope you're enjoying those different, I hope you enjoyed those different interpretations, and it's really fun for me to see and hear how others read the poems. And I'm going to share 3 more with you. I guess anyone who's watched the recent show, The Queen's Gambit, might appreciate this one because of the chess references. Match. The ampersands of chance link us all by happenstance. Everyone's in on the joke, straight as laces, queer as folk. Tinder, J-date, OK Cupid, wicked smart and dumbass stupid. Shit together and hot mess. Random as a game of chess, forward, sideways, up and down, maneuvering to gain the crown. We plot to capture queens and kings. But we're pathetic pawns, poor things. We play for keeps, hoping fate might turn a date into checkmate. Oh, and here's a comment from Vartan. Hi, Vartan, I'm glad you're watching. I know some of my family was trying to watch too, and I hope that they can find their way back either today or later on and tune in. That will be really fun. Here's another winter poem. New Year's Resolution. The frozen snow crushed by our feet is loud. We speak, then must repeat ourselves. You lead the way, winding through shadowed trees. A step behind, I follow your tracks over ground glazed like sweet confection. Twilight haze hushes the air when we stand still, catching our breath. Bliss fills my body, warming all my core as we kiss, then kiss more until we laugh. Silly us, in the woods. Love is ridiculous, and yet how sublime, at last to be a pair in rhyme. And the last poem I'm going to read at this virtual event is an almost sonnet, and it was a last-minute addition to this manuscript. And to write it, I took lines from all of the previous sonnets to compose this one. So I don't know if you'll maybe catch some of that, or the guests who read poems, maybe you'll hear the references to the poems that you read. Almost. I thought we were a pair in rhyme, not just dating, true soulmates, the planet Venus, both of ours. I dreamt this never would happen again. Which blame belongs to you, which me? Lovers do as the sun and the moon. Sonnets are simpler. You see, I think you've taken me for a ride, bitten my stricken heart like a berry, wanting. Love, I was wanting to go several more miles. Make no mistake, we had love. So there you have it. Those are 13 sonnets from my book, Simple as a Sonnet, which has about 20 other poems in it. They're not all rhyming. There's a variety of things there. Like I said, you can get copies through Kelsey Books, the publisher, or through Bookshop, or if you go to my website, you'll find links there. And I'll be sharing all of that after the fact on this YouTube page. I'm also going to share, with their permission, website links for all of the readers who participated today, and I just wanted to give them another big thank you. Kay, Anne, Lorna, Anastasia, Jamai, Sarah, Brenna, and Robin. Thank you so much for making the videos for me to share at this event and being a part of it. Thanks again, extra thanks to Kay for your technical help. I also wanted to do a little shout out to the blurb writers who so generously endorsed the book. This is part of a tradition for books that you get someone to do a little write-up, and so I just wanted to give a little shout out to those people: Jenna Lee, Deborah Schwartz, and Allison Adair, and to Karen Kelsey for publishing the book. To all my friends and colleagues and family who are tuning in live now or who will watch later, and the general public, which I guess is also an option. They'll be out there. Thank you so much. It's been a real pleasure to share this with you. Thank you for your patience as I figured out how to get it all together. And I may be doing some additional events later this year, so if you're interested, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Poet Pianist, or you can follow my website and get in touch with me there and find out about possible upcoming events, either readings of from my book, or I might be hosting another Solidarity Salon this year, which will involve other artists, other writers, musicians, so stay tuned for that. So I'm thanking you with all of my heart for being part of this book launch and this special reading. I hope everyone will stay safe and healthy. Take care. Thanks again.